welcome to day number 4. Welcome to day number 7. Day number 12.
Welcome to Do It Heartily.
All right, so time for Guess Who Lego Edition. Guess Who Lego Edition starts off with two small children, two small wee babes, and they're both the same age, if that gives you a hint. Which Bible story is this? You can tell me the name of the two or the story as we get into it. So, starts off with two wee babes, and one of them grows up. Grows up, and it looks like that this person has become, I don't know, a manly man, maybe a hunter we see here. And then another one, looks like he's stirring a pot. Could it be a wash pot? No, I think he's cooking something in front of the tent. Looks like his mom's there. Perhaps he's the favorite. And looks like mom told him, hey, listen, you got to do something for me. Looks like she helped him put something on his arms. Looks like mom is trying to intervene and go between what dad had wanted and what she wanted on which son was going to get the, shall we say, blessing. And so this young person takes mom's advice, goes into dear old dad. Dad has a little trouble seeing. He's kind of old, fixing to die. He pretends to be someone that he's not. And the sheep's skins that are on his arms are kind of helping with that. Then later, the other one comes in and says, hey there, Dad, I brought you some stuff. Who is that person that came in second? So one was first, one was second. And then mom overhears something and says, oh, you got to run, and sends her kid away because he just obeyed what mom said. And now it looks like his life is in danger. And now he had to run away. Who is that? Two twins. Who was that? Always good to have Lego help us out with the old Bible story. All right, so we have been telling a story for 2 weeks now here in Junior Church. 2 weeks, a story that we have to continue today. This is the end of the story. Story still continues. But this is the end of the missionary story and named Domings. They're trying to patch him up. And that's where we pick up the story today. Domings' mother and the old woman covered his wound with some sap. That wound was so deep, it was so terrible, they thought, we've got to do something. So the old woman pulled out this jar of this sticky tree sap. And together, by the light of the full moon which shone into the house, they stuffed the tree sap into the wound and stopped the bleeding by wrapping the shoulder tightly with some rags. When they had finished, Domings was weak from the loss of blood, but he lay perfectly still on the floor. By morning, grandfather appeared in the doorway. He could not remember what he had done, but the old woman lost no time in telling him, you dirty pig, she cried. Look what you've done to your own grandson. Grandfather slid to the floor, his head between his hands. Yet grandfather didn't say a word. He loved his grandson dearly. And finally he said, old woman, will he get any better? There's only one way to know, she said. We shall have the egg dance. The egg dance? A young man was brought in with a goatskin drum. He began to beat on that drum while the old woman set out some plates. Each plate had an egg on it. She picked up 2 grass sticks and she started to dance, holding one egg in her outstretched hand. Closely, the old woman stared at the egg, and then the drumming and the dancing stopped. Domings will get well, the old woman announced. But Domings did not get well. His mother and grandfather carried him gently to their own home. But in spite of all that they knew to do, Doming got worse. Grandfather would not allow the missionary to see the boy. In his delirium, Doming often called out and said, "No, grandfather, no." Then, calming down, he would repeat, "Let not your heart be troubled. Let not your heart be troubled." He was going back to the verses that he had heard the missionaries read. Quietly, one day, Doming's mother came and sat down next to grandfather. She said, "You have forbidden me to go to the missionaries. You have said that you would kill them if they came to our house. But I'm going to go get them. I cannot watch my little boy die. Maybe they'll be able to help." Grandfather did not try to stop her. He just sat as he had done hour after hour, head bowed between his roughed, hard-worked hands. Doming's mother hurried to the home of the village missionary. "Please come," she begged. "See if you can help my son, Doming. I think grandfather will do you no harm. He knows Doming is very sick, and the old woman's cure has done no good. He does not want Doming to die." When the missionary saw the boy, he was burning up with fever. Tears came to the missionary's eyes. Gently he removed the bandages, dirty and stiff with dry blood. When he saw the festered wound on his shoulder, his face grew really serious. He looked at grandfather, and grandfather understood. Back to his corner, grandfather went and sat down with his head in his hands. Neither Doming's mother nor his grandfather objected when the missionary stood up and said, "We must get your boy to a hospital quickly. Even so, it could be too late. But he will surely die if he stays here like this." Grandfather, determined that it should be him to go with him to the hospital as Doming's watcher. "I'm a relative," he argued when Doming's mother protested. "I'll take my sleeping mat and sleep underneath Doming's bed. I can feed the boy and watch over him." Doming's mother said, "But he is my son. I want to be his watcher." Turning to her, the missionary said loudly, "You are needed here to look after the chickens and the pigs. You must stay here to keep after the home. Let grandfather go." Then he whispered softly to the mother and said, "This may be God's way of reaching grandfather." The missionary knew that sometimes God can use terrible events in a person's life to help someone see that they need Jesus as their Savior. You know, boys and girls, it's important for us to live a life that is concerned about other people. If you're saved, we should have a desire to help others. You never know how the Lord might use your kindness to get someone to open up to hearing the gospel.